Imagine being a teenager, chasing your dream in one of the world's most competitive industries, but at what cost? Fame comes at a cost, but how high is too high? From underage K-pop idols battling exploitative systems to companies rebranding after abuse scandals, behind the glitz of K-pop lies a darker reality. Young trainees, full of dreams, manipulated by those they trust the most. Promises of stardom turn into nightmares of exploitation. Why are offenders allowed to return to power? And who will protect the vulnerable? What would you sacrifice for fame? A brave idol has spoken out, risking everything to reveal the truth. Who protects them when their own leaders are the predators? Stay tuned as we uncover the hidden struggles behind the spotlight. Recently, an anonymous female idol, currently active in the entertainment industry, shared a chilling account of her experiences online. Her post shed light on the exploitation and abuse she endured, exposing the darker side of the entertainment world. In her own words, she explained why she felt compelled to speak out. If this post gets circulated around social media and news reports start writing about it, I'm so certain that my company and my identity will be revealed. I don't care if my identity is revealed. I simply hope that people will listen and understand the story that I'm about to write. Her story begins with horrifying allegations against her company's CEO, who she claimed engaged in exploitative practices to fund the group's debut. She alleged that one member of the group had been sold, a term she used to describe being coerced into exploitative meetings. The idol also exposed the existence of sponsorship deals in the industry. These arrangements, widely known yet rarely discussed openly, involve young idols being pressured into inappropriate interactions under the guise of networking opportunities. One ex-trainee previously revealed that sponsors often pay significant sums, around 5 million Korean won, $4,650 USD, for such encounters. A particularly harrowing incident took place a week before the group's music video shoot. The idol recounted how their CEO brought the group, including minors, to a bar. Despite the presence of underage members, the establishment allowed them inside without question and directed them to a private room where the CEO and 4 older men awaited. She described the experience in detail. Our company's CEO called the members into a regular bar, even though we had underage minors in the group. The owner didn't bother checking our IDs, but instead directed us to a room where our CEO and 4 other men, whom we'd never seen before, were sitting. The CEO introduced them as people who greatly helped us to debut, so we thanked them without any suspicion. At first, the group believed it was an ordinary networking event. However, things quickly became uncomfortable when the men began insisting that the members pour their drinks. The men started telling us to pour their drinks, saying that alcohol tastes better when it's poured by women. Thinking back on it now, it was weird, but all we could think about at the time was that we were a team getting ready to debut, and everything could fall apart if something went wrong. So we poured their drinks. As the night went on, the CEO asked one of the men, described as someone with significant influence in the entertainment industry, to choose the member he found most appealing. The man selected the group's visual member, referred to as VM in the post. The man picked out the prettiest member. We took it as a friendly gesture, and she even thanked him. The man started complimenting VM and how she was going to stand out in broadcasts, that she was a goddess. Then suddenly, he began boasting about how much influence he had in the entertainment industry and how he knew a lot of inside information. He told her that the bar was too loud, so he wanted her to go somewhere quiet with him to talk more about it. VM, sensing something was wrong, refused the man's request. However, her refusal angered him, and the CEO signaled for her to comply. The man suddenly got angry as he started blaming VM for not having the correct mindset of someone preparing to debut. Our CEO signaled VM to leave with the man. We felt that something was terribly wrong, but VM told us that she'd be fine and left with the man, seemingly to a nearby coffee shop. The group returned to their dorms around 3 a.m., but VM, who had left at 1 a.m., was still missing. Without access to phones, they couldn't contact her. Their manager eventually reached out to the label, but the members were instructed to continue their practice sessions without further explanation. VM finally returned hours later, and her account of the night was deeply unsettling. She described how the man pressured her during their conversation, asking her to play with him. When she refused, he grew angry and began threatening the group's debut plans. Although VM refused and refused, the man rejected her refusal and threatened to destroy our debut plans. VM apologized while crying and continued to refuse, but the man got angry as he told her to do whatever she wants if she doesn't want to debut. He started touching her hand. Fearing for the group, VM eventually agreed to accompany the man elsewhere under the condition that nothing inappropriate would happen. She described how the man drove her to a sauna where the situation continued to deteriorate. Since it was too late in the night, he told her to leave, but VM didn't have any money or phone. Since they drove to the coffee shop in the man's car, she didn't know where she was, so the man said he'd drive her to a sauna. When she got to the sauna, she waited for the man to leave. As soon as he did, she tried to borrow a phone to call our manager, but the man returned with snacks, telling her to sauna with him. She fell asleep in the sauna out of exhaustion and fear, waking up to find the man gone. He had left 100,000 Korean won, about 93 USD, with a note stating that he would meet her again soon. VM managed to contact the label and return safely. The idol went on to explain that the man later contacted VM through the CEO after the group had debuted. Despite their success, the exploitative cycle persisted. She tried to reveal more about the encounter, but her post ended abruptly as she feared being discovered by her company. "I was almost caught, so I deleted it. I'm scared that they'll become suspicious if I continue to write more. I'm writing in the bathroom with the water turned on. I'm so scared. Please help me." This anonymous idol's story highlights the systemic abuse and exploitation rampant in the entertainment industry. Her bravery in sharing her experiences underscores the urgent need for accountability and change. In 2022, shocking allegations surfaced against the K-pop company LPA Entertainment. Evidence revealed that the company had allegedly been forcing its trainees to send pictures of their underwear, under the pretext of monitoring their weight and physical condition. These claims sparked widespread outrage, not only among fans, but across the global entertainment industry. Leaked text messages between the company's staff and trainees painted a disturbing picture. In one message, the company wrote, "This is the exact picture of your weight." Another chilling message added, "Weight checks are necessary because we need to know the person's figure. If you don't like this, how can you say you want to be a K-pop idol?" And yet another, "It isn't easy to become a K-pop star in Korea. That's why they are the world's best." These messages, laced with coercion and manipulation, expose the toxic culture of control within certain corners of the K-pop industry. Aspiring idols, many of whom are minors, are often subjected to extreme standards and unhealthy practices, but this scandal took it to a horrifying new level. As the scandal unfolded, LPA Entertainment faced intense public scrutiny. The allegations gained traction across news outlets and social media platforms, prompting an investigation. While the company denied any wrongdoing, the weight of the evidence led to its downfall, or so it seemed. For months, the company's operations appeared to halt. Many believed LPA Entertainment had been shut down entirely. However, recent developments suggest otherwise. The company seems to have rebranded itself under a new name, NA Entertainment. This revelation came to light when netizens noticed that NA Entertainment, now operating under the radar, announced the upcoming debut of a new girl group called Deva. The connection between LPA Entertainment and NA Entertainment has alarmed fans and industry insiders alike. Despite the rebranding, the tainted history of its predecessor continues to cast a long shadow over the new label. One detail that linked the two companies was the timing of an audition announcement by NA Entertainment shortly after the LPA scandal broke in 2022. This has left many fans questioning whether NA Entertainment is genuinely distancing itself from its past or simply attempting to wipe the slate clean while continuing harmful practices. Adding fuel to the fire, a new revelation emerged on November 11th when a popular X, formerly Twitter, user shared information about one of Deva's members, Kia. According to the post, Kia allegedly disclosed that the former CEO of LPA Entertainment is now in prison. While this detail raises hopes that some accountability is being served, it remains unclear what charges led to the CEO's imprisonment. There has been no official confirmation or further clarification regarding the specific crimes involved. This brings up several critical questions. If the CEO is indeed incarcerated, what does this mean for the current operations of NA Entertainment? Are the same individuals who enabled the abuse still involved in the company's day-to-day management? Or is this a genuine attempt at reform? The upcoming debut of Deva represents a pivotal moment. For the members of this new group, their careers are just beginning, but they carry the weight of their label's controversial legacy. Fans are divided. Some are eager to support the young idols who had no part in the previous scandal, while others are skeptical, fearing that the company's toxic culture might persist under a new name. It's also important to consider the broader implications of this controversy. This isn't just about one company or one CEO. The practices allegedly employed by LPA Entertainment are indicative of systemic issues within the entertainment industry. Trainees, many of whom are teenagers, enter the industry full of dreams, only to face grueling training regimens, invasive monitoring, and, in extreme cases, exploitation. The power imbalance between companies and trainees is staggering. Trainees often sign binding contracts at a young age with little understanding of their rights or recourse. These contracts can include clauses that give companies excessive control over their personal lives, physical appearances, and even social interactions. In the case of LPA Entertainment, the leaked text messages highlight how such control can be abused. The company's justification for requesting inappropriate images under the guise of weight checks shows how far some organizations are willing to go to maintain their perceived standards of beauty and success. As the debut of Deva approaches, the industry faces a critical moment of reflection. Can the K-pop world continue to ignore the darker aspects of its practices, or will this serve as a turning point for reform and accountability? Fans, too, play a crucial role. By supporting companies and idols who prioritize ethics and transparency, the public can send a clear message that abusive practices will not be tolerated. At the same time, it's vital to support the idols themselves, who often have no control over the actions of their labels, but bear the brunt of public backlash. The imprisonment of the former CEO, if confirmed, offers a glimmer of hope. It suggests that justice is possible, even in an industry where power dynamics often favor the abusers. However, without further transparency from NA Entertainment, concerns about its connection to LPA Entertainment will continue to linger. The future of Deva and NA Entertainment will likely be determined by how they navigate this scrutiny. For now, all eyes are on them, and the stakes couldn't be higher, not just for the company, but for the industry as a whole. Another troubling issue in the entertainment industry that has surfaced recently: the exploitation of young trainees by those in positions of power. A series of incidents reported by the Hank Hyora over the past 2 years has shed light on the methods used to manipulate and harm vulnerable individuals in the K-pop system. In one case, a young trainee, referred to as A, was contacted by the head of her agency, identified as B. Under the pretense of assessing her efforts, B called her to his office. What should have been a routine meeting turned into something far more concerning. According to the reports, B asked her to take off her clothes in an inappropriate act, breaching her personal boundaries. The court later addressed this situation, acknowledging the seriousness of the incident. The judge stated, "The accused is the operator of an entertainment agency who misused their position to harm a trainee." However, the sentence handed down, a 1-year prison term, suspended for 2 years along with 40 hours of specialized education, left many questioning the adequacy of the punishment. Even more troubling was the lack of further restrictions on B's involvement in environments with children, adolescents, or vulnerable individuals. Despite the nature of the offense, there was no prohibition on B operating or working within an entertainment agency, raising concerns about systemic gaps in protections for young trainees. Another troubling story involves an agency executive identified as C. Reports revealed that C used promises of career advancement to pressure trainees into complying with personal requests. C reportedly told his performers, "Not everyone can rise to the top. If you cooperate with me, I'll help you succeed." For young individuals hoping to debut, refusing such demands could mean the end of their dreams. Victims who did not comply found themselves excluded from opportunities, leaving them feeling powerless. C denied the allegations in court, claiming they were attempts by individuals to escape their contracts. However, the court rejected this defense. C's history of similar behavior, including a previous conviction for pressuring a trainee into uncomfortable situations involving alcohol, weighed heavily against him. In January of last year, C was sentenced to 1 year in prison, ordered to complete 80 hours of boundary education, and banned from working in environments involving children, adolescents, or other vulnerable groups for 5 years. This decision was seen as a step forward, but it also underscored how common such incidents are within the industry. Unfortunately, not all cases come to light. The power imbalance between executives and trainees often creates a culture of silence. Many victims are too afraid to speak out, fearing retaliation or the loss of their careers. A 2021 study revealed that 43% of K-pop trainees are under the age of 19. These minors are especially vulnerable as they often lack the experience or resources to protect themselves. While some resources exist to support victims, such as the Gender Equality Center run by the Korea Creative Content Agency, they don't address the root of the problem: prevention. The system itself allows such abuses to occur, often with little oversight or accountability. For example, the lack of employment restrictions for individuals like B highlights systemic failings. Even after serious allegations, there is no guarantee that offenders will be removed from positions where they can harm others. If the entertainment industry wants to change, systemic reform is essential. Stronger legal protections must be enacted to ensure that individuals who exploit their positions of power face meaningful consequences. Agencies need to be held accountable, and independent oversight bodies should be established to monitor their practices. Another crucial step is creating a safe environment for trainees to report misconduct. Currently, many fear retaliation or losing their chance to debut if they speak out. Providing anonymous reporting mechanisms and support systems can empower victims to come forward without fear. The South Korean Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism has approved an amendment to the Popular Culture and Arts Industry Development Act, aiming to protect underage idols in the K-pop industry by regulating their working hours and prioritizing their well-being. The bill has sparked significant debate, particularly among industry groups, with 5 major associations, including the Korea Entertainment Producers Association and the Korea Entertainment Management Association, voicing opposition. Their main concern is that the new restrictions, particularly a proposed 7-hour daily work limit for minors, could hinder the growth and development of young idols, many of whom are driven to succeed in the competitive K-pop industry. The bill proposes stricter regulations on work hours, safety measures, and education for underage idols, with the goal of preventing exploitation and protecting their mental and physical health. While industry professionals worry about the potential negative impact on idols' careers, fans and child welfare advocates support the bill, arguing that it is necessary to combat the overworking and exploitation of young performers. Critics also raise concerns about fairness and team dynamics, particularly when minor members are restricted to shorter working hours, potentially leading to resentment within idol groups. However, the bill also includes provisions for appointing a youth protection officer to oversee the well-being of minor idols, ensuring that their working conditions align with the new regulations. While some worry that the bill's restrictions could limit the professional development of young idols, fans argue for a balanced approach that protects their health and safety without stifling their potential. The legislation aims to create a safer, more sustainable environment for underage idols, but its successful implementation will depend on proper enforcement and accountability from entertainment agencies. The final outcome of this legislation could shape the future of K-pop, balancing protection with the need for artistic growth in a competitive industry. Finally, fans and consumers have an essential role to play. By demanding transparency and supporting ethical companies, they can help push the industry toward better practices. The public's voice is a powerful tool in holding agencies accountable.